Trendy tree, and today we're going to make an autumn wreath. We're going to use
I'm ready to go.
we're going to use a 24-inch wreath form. This is a burlap pencil wreath, a 21-inch mesh. This is a brown and gold combination, no foil, just the inexpensive mesh. We have burgundy. We'll give you the numbers at the end of the video, all the numbers of the supplies that we use. But this is a 10-inch foil mesh that has burgundy with red foil just to add a little extra color. And we have this bead garland that's kind of black and a cream color, kind of fall looking. And then we have these, I would call those grungy bees. They're kind of a primitive, they look primitive, and let me tell you, in the bag, if you buy these bees, there'll be debris in the bag, but they're rusty.
Debris.
And this is just like paint to make them look old, and they're made to look this
Rusty
way.
bees.
So they really are grungy. And then we have these two little flower picks, and we may use one of those on one side. One is kind of a yellow, and the other's kind of an orangey color. And if we need to do a bow at the end, we picked out several different fall ribbons. So we're just going to have to decide as we go along if we're going to put a bow on it or ribbon strips or not. The first thing we're going to do is do a basic poof technique. And for this, we're going to make 21-inch poofs on this wreath. This is a 24-inch pencil wreath, and it measures 12 inches across the center, and the largest ring measures 15. And when you add your mesh and other products, you wind up getting a 24-inch wreath or bigger.
But we're not making 21-inch poofs.
We're not making, did I say that? Mm-hmm. We're not making 21-inch poofs. We're making 12-inch. So you start by letting that fall off in the floor.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go. We're going to start on the inside ring. It doesn't really matter if you start on the inside or outside, but you gather the mesh about 3 or 4 inches from the end, and just choose a twist to start, and lay the mesh down, and you can put this, twist this, give it 2 or 3 turns. And then you're going to measure 12 inches and make your poof, and you may want to get your hands under your poof to kind of poof it out a little bit. Just go to the next twist and secure it with a couple of turns, and we're going to work all the way around the wreath making 12-inch poofs. Now this is going to look rather transparent right now, and you think this is not going to cover up the metal rings, but with the addition of the other items that we're going to use, like it will.
We hope.
It should. You'll have some strings along the way. You don't have to clip them, but sometimes you have to clip them as you go to keep them from tangling up. But this is a combination mesh of a gold, polypropylene, and brown. It's weatherproof. You can use it outside. It is plastic though, made out of plastic. So as with any plastic, it will eventually fade in the sunlight. Rolled into the...
Yeah, it's in the... Something's happening.
And sometimes on a work wreath, you may find that your twist ties, the little clamp that holds the twist tie on has come loose, and it may slip and slide a little bit, but really it won't matter. When you secure your mesh to it, it'll kind of stay in place. It really won't hurt anything.
Grabbing it.
And you can tell too that we have used this wreath more than once, the wreath frame. So that's why it looks a little...
Back to the...
Okay, now, so we've gone all the way around the wreath, and now we're back to our starting point, and you can see that twist is a little bit loose. But what we're going to do is make the last poof, and she's going to attach it into this area where the first poof started. So we're just going to untwist that, make sure that raw end stays, and then secure that last poof on top of that. Give it a couple of twists. All right, and then to get your mesh down to the next ring, you're just going to kind of pull it kind of snug, go to the closest twist, which is right there, and you're just going to attach that mesh, and that'll be your starting place for your outside ring. And then she's just going to continue to measure 12 inches and make those poofs along that outer ring. Let's see if you can do it right there. I think they can see you better. There you go. There's about 18 twists on a 24-inch wreath, and usually one roll of 21-inch mesh on a 10-yard roll is enough to cover. You'll actually have a little bit left over, maybe enough to make a bow or something for another project. And we've tried doing the math to make the poofs where you use up the entire roll of mesh, so you wouldn't have, you know, a couple of yards left over. But when you do, the poofs were too large and too floppy, so we went back to using anywhere from 10 to a 14-inch poof. Just depends on what you're making. Right, and see on this wreath, like I say, we've used it more than one time, and the twists are slipping around on the ring, but we're not going to do anything to them. We're just going to let them slide, and we're going to make our poof, and it's not going to make any difference. But if you want to, you can always secure that
Just
with
clamp
a little
them.
piece of floor wire, or what'd you say?
Just usually you just push the clamps harder.
Well, right, you can take some little needle nose pliers and press the clamp and tighten it. You can do that. Okay, so now we are back to the beginning again, and we're ready to secure our last poof. So we're going to do just like we did on the front, on the first ring. We're going to open up that ring, open up that twist, and make sure that poof stays in place, and then secure that last poof with a couple of turns. And then we're going to be ready to cut off our mesh from the roll. And you want to cut off leaving a tail of, I'm sorry, you take it, 4 or 5 inches. Somebody got on to me the other day for saying inch.
Inch.
They won't know what an inch was. Inch. Anyway, so we've got, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 yards left on this roll. It'll be enough for another small project. We'll just roll that up and get it out of the way. And then we're going to take those raw edges or raw ends, and we're going to just pinch them together there and zip tie them to the work wreath frame. And that will keep them from, you should be close to the front, the beginning and the end together, and you can do them together with just one zip tie.
No, they're.
If you can't.
I don't see this start. Maybe it is right there.
If they don't work out together, it does, you can zip tie it in 2 places, but just put a zip tie on it, and that'll keep that little end from popping out when you don't want it to. We like to use zip ties. I think they hold better than chenille stems, but you could use a chenille stem or a little piece of floral wire, either one, and snip off the end of your zip tie with wire cutters. You don't want to use your scissors, it'll ruin them.
Burn.
Burn them. So now, we've gone all the way around the inner and the outer ring with a basic poof technique. So the wreath at this point measures already about 26 inches in width. And you can always, you may want to hang it up on the wall and look at it. If you have any poofs that need adjusting, you can always do that. And you may want to put your hands under the poofs to just kind of fluff them out a little more. And the next thing we're going to do,
Just put the garland on.
right, that's your basic poof technique using a 12-inch poof. You're going to need some zip ties. The next thing we're going to do is use this garland, and that is, and like I say, we'll give you the numbers of that at the end, but we're going to just take the garland, it's all wired, and we're going to make sure that all the little limbs and things are kind of pulled to the front. And we're going to take that base wire and we're just going to attach it to the middle ring of the wreath form. And we're just going to do that in a few places. We just use a zip tie for that. And we can secure them all and then go back and cut them. But you do want to secure it to the metal ring. Okay.
There's one.
Is that all I pulled over here?
I got several more over here.
Okay. Just secure it every 6 or 8 inches, something like that. I like that mesh. I think that's the first time we've ever used that color.
I think so.
On a tutorial. I love fall decorating. I love fall.
Okay.
What are you laughing at?
I don't know.
Don't clip your finger. I probably should put my glasses on.
You want to see?
Okay, so now I'll put that tag. Well, I got it right off of there.
Don't run off. I need it.
Tag. Like I say, we'll give you the SKU number of all the products, but just kind of, you can take those little beads and kind of spread them out. Spread some toward the back, some toward the front, and you want to leave some standing kind of straight up. That.
It's kind of different.
It really adds a different dimension to it too. It really, I think. And you can adjust these after you get everything on also.
Okay, now we need to go do some ruffles.
Right, so next, just thinking of that, I think that's going to be okay. We're going to add in some ruffles to just give it a more fall color.
I like those.
I do too. And then we can decide if we want to use any ribbon strips or not. We might put some ribbon strips on it. We don't know yet. So throw me that cutter. Oh, here's the cutter. To do ruffles, what we usually do is always use a 10-inch wide mesh. This is 10 inches wide, 10 yards in length, and we'll give you the SKU number, but it's a burgundy mesh with red foil. And we cut our strips 10 inches in width and length. And I think what we'll do, let me just cut up a few. Sorry, you didn't see it. This is what you call a self-healing cutting mat. and this is a rotary cutter. And we always do a written blog post on our tutorial, so I'll give you our affiliate link. We don't sell these on the website anymore, but I'll give you our affiliate link. You can get them on Amazon. But once you use one, you won't want to be without one. It's like having a man around the house.
What's that?
And you can cut, if you're like, you can cut 3 or 4 layers of mesh at a time. Of course, I didn't want to open but one roll of mesh. But if you're making a ruffle wreath out of like 3 shades, you can cut all 3 colors. I can't talk and cut at the same time.
No, and don't. My hand is down there. Nope. Where's your glasses? Put your glasses on, Mama.
That's probably enough. Let me get this one. We'll try that. Okay, so to make a ruffle, you just take your 10-inch piece of mesh and let it naturally roll up like that, and then you just scrunch up through the center. You want to make sure that your selvage edge or your uncut edge is on the outside, and you just pinch it up and make it like a little bow tie. We're going to take that.
You want 3?
I think let's just try 2. And I'm going to take one, then I'm going to kind of lay the other one sort of opposite, and then I'm just going to pinch them together, and then I'm going to open up a twist and make sure that my poof stays in place, and then I'm going to lay that little cluster of ruffles down, and then secure the twist back with a couple of turns. And since I don't know for sure if we're going to use any ribbon or not, I'll just do 2 turns right now. But we're going to put 2 ruffles, I think, in each twist. And that will just give it a little more fall color, and the fall will give it a little bit of a shine too. You can make your whole wreath using the ruffle technique, but if you do, you will want to use like 3 ruffles in each twist, or that's what we typically do. But since we're just adding this for a little contrast color, we're just using 2 on top of that poof. Plus, that will help make it more dense, cover up that wreath form well, and we'll still be able to see our garland. So we've gone all the way around the inner ring with the 2 ruffles in each twist, and now we're just going to move down and put 2 ruffles in the outer ring. You could do ruffles or curls, either one. You'll have some raveling anytime you cut mesh, or even when you don't cut the mesh, you're going to have some raveling. Just know that you're going to have to clip some strings at the end. We have experimented with spraying mesh with Elmer's Craft Bond spray adhesive. We've used it more on paper though than we have on poly mesh, deco poly mesh, but it probably would help that too. Okay, this should be the last one.
That one ain't quite long enough, but I didn't make that one 10. Sorry. Just.
It's going to show.
Oh, well, probably so. But
somebody look at that wreath and say, oh my gosh.
There's one.
Look at that ruffle. It must
It's
only
8
be
inches.
8 inches. Okay, so now we've gone all the way around. We had the poof technique, and now we've gone back on top of the poof with 2 ruffles in each twist. And we have some strings, and we'll do those at the end. And now we're just going to that kind of covered up our garland a little bit, so we're just going to kind of work on pulling the garland back out where you can see it. And on the twist, if you don't like your twist to show, you can always tuck those to the inside. Either way. Okay, but that's where we're at so far. I like it. Okay. Well, we brought some ribbon. Well, this is the other thing that we're thinking about using. Is this little flower, just to get a little more color. Right in there. And you want to do that in some ribbon. Hold that, and let's look at this ribbon.
The sunflower for sure. There went one.
And the bee. What are you thinking about? I like the bee. I like that in the bee. Okay. Right. You might sometimes it helps if you hang your wreath up on the wall to kind of get an idea of where you want to place your items, and then you can secure them. But that I like that. But let's do with some ribbon strips, and then we'll put these pieces on last. Well, we brought several ribbons to, kind of test to see which we like. But we think we're going to go with the sunflower. It's a 2.5 inch and then a 1.5 fall plaid. And the first thing that we want to do is do a test strip. Let me grab some old ribbon. We're just going to grab a ribbon to kind of do a test strip, do a 12 inch. And to see what length that we want to do our ribbon strips. We're probably not going to do a bow since we got the little floral arrangement and the bee, so I think we'll just do some ribbon strips in each twist. So you just take your twist, take your ribbon strip, and pinch it in the center. If you need to find your center, you can fold it and find your center. Just gather it up so you've got just like that. And then you want to open up a twist, open it all the way down to that last thing that you added, which was the ruffle, and put the twist in and then secure it back. And you want to just see about what length, and I think 12 inches is going to be okay for this, but you sure want to do a test strip before you cut up all your ribbon. You don't want to cut it up and it be so long that you have to go back and waste it by trimming the ends. And you do want to also finish off, you want to do chevron or just angle them?
Chevron would be easier for me.
To finish off the ends of your ribbon, you can just take that, your 12 inch length, fold it in half, and then fold it again lengthwise, and then cut across the folded edge, and then you have like a chevron or a fish mouth cut on each end. So, and you can cut more than one at a time if you want to. If you're doing, 2 pieces of ribbon, I might just fold it together and cut off the end. Got all these. I don't want to cut that on my wreath.
We putting it in each twist?
Yeah, let's try a ribbon cluster in each twist. So to make my ribbon cluster, I'm going to take the ribbon, make sure it's face side up. I'm going to take the 2.5 inch, and then I'm going to layer the 1.5 on top of that, and then I'm going to just pinch that in the center. Like that, and you can kind of separate those ribbons. And then I'm going to open up a twist, secure my ribbon strip down, and secure it. This time, I'm going to give my twist 3 or 4 turns, and then just kind of pull my ribbons up, fluff them out. And like I say, you can kind of separate those a little bit if you want them. Like that. And then we're going to put a ribbon strip in each twist. Now your ribbon, as you're working with your wreath, your ribbon will get mash down, and you'll have to refluff it again at the end, so you don't have to take too much pain with it while you're putting your ribbon strips in, because by the time you turn it over or work on the back or put in your other pieces, you're going to have to come back and fluff up those ribbons again. I love these sunflowers. You know that the folks that live across the street from us, or there's a field across the street from us that has a field of sunflowers. I don't know if they're making it. I don't know. They're not. I wouldn't think they were making it to hunt, because it's right there on the highway.
Like, what do you mean, like
Like
deer?
a field. I mean, it's like a field planted in sunflowers.
I don't know.
I've been tempted. I've been tempted to stop by there and get me a bouquet.
You better ask somebody.
I don't really know them.
You will if you cut their flowers without asking.
Yeah. That's what I thought. So I thought, well, I don't know.
I have no idea how many I cut.
I'm just going around the outer ring now, doing the same thing, opening up that twist, make sure the poof and the ruffle stays in place, and put down your ribbon cluster and give it 3 or 4 twists. It's real important though that you open up that twist and go open it and go down, otherwise your ribbons will be too far out toward the outer edge and they'll be loose looking. Okay, now we'll smooth out those ribbon strips when we get finished. The next thing we're going to do is attach our
You
little...
want the red or the orange one or the yellow one?
It doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
Do the red.
Okay, these will be assorted. Now we will have these supplies in a kit, and let me have the yellow one. Either color would look fine on the kit, so I think that's what we plan to do, is package it as a kit.
Sure.
So your kit will either contain the one with the rust or the burgundy ruffles, or the one with ruffles.
Flower.
This is just a little wooden container, and this is a spray that has just been bent and tucked down in there. So what we're going to do to make it more stable, when we attach this to the wreath frame, you want to attach it to the work wreath frame, we're going to run a zip tie right along in here, and then that way these flowers will cover it up. That will hold the spray in place and attach it to the work wreath frame. Now, you'll want to hold it up on the wall and kind of figure out where you want to attach it. And you'll just have to kind of ease it down in there and put the zip tie around the wood part and attach it to the work wreath frame. You may have to use 1 or more zip ties. To attach the little cloth bee,
I'm going to fluff ribbon while you attach
okay,
bee.
I'm just going to take a piece of floral wire and just run it through the fabric on the back. And you may want to put in a couple of places, but just a little piece of floral wire like that. Just twist it. And then I'm going to secure the bee to the work wreath frame. Okay, there's our wreath after we added the little floral bouquet and the 2 bees. And we made a hanger on the back using a couple of zip ties. So you can always check the back of your wreath and make sure you don't have any sharp objects that's might scratch your wall or door. But we were thinking about making a bow with the remainder of the sunflower ribbon and just attaching a bow right there. Okay, we're going to take the remainder of our sunflower ribbon. I don't know exactly how many yards we have left, but I'm going to show Carrie how to make a bow using the Bow-Dabra. The Bow-Dabra is this plastic piece, and you get that from Walmart. We used to sell them online on our website, but we don't anymore because Walmart has them, so you can get one, or Amazon. And I'll give you a link for that. We have an affiliate link. But this is the Bow-Dabra, and this is a little wand. This board is a piece that my husband made for me to attach it to. So what he did was just drill 4 little holes in that plastic piece and then attached it to this board. And people are always wanting to know how big is a board. And it's 20 inches and 9 inches. And then I just took a magic marker and did some markings and across the front, so when we're looking to make a 12-inch bow, we know how big to make it. So the first thing you're going to do is cut a piece of ribbon for your tails. And we're going to make about a 12-inch bow, so you can make those tails about 18 inches, so just double that. I mean, you want each tail.
I don't understand.
Okay. Well, you want your tails are going to be like this and hanging down, so you need to measure like this much twice.
Okay, I was trying to do some folding.
Right. Or you can make them, yeah, or make them about 16. We might get close to running out of ribbon, so 16 would be, yeah, there you go. 16 is like here, between here and here.
Okay.
Okay.
Whew. Smoke is coming. All right, I'm supposed to cut it, I hope.
Cut it, and make sure you got your ribbon face up. Find your center. And then put that down in the bow dabber.
Do I go ahead and do my ends?
You can go ahead and shove it on your ends. You can just fold that and do an angled cut. And that way the ends of the
Okay,
ribbon
so
are
I just put
finished
it in
off.
here?
Mm-mm.
No?
Open it back up.
Okay.
All right. Find your center point and put it right down the center there. Slide it right down in there. Face up. Okay. Now
Face
pull your
up.
tails out over here to get them out of the way so that won't mess you up or anything.
Okay.
Now, you're ready to start with your ribbon. So you take your ribbon
I
face
thought I was
side.
supposed to put the wire in here.
We don't have the wire. We're going to lift it off and put a zip tie around it.
Okay.
Okay, so face side up, just let your ribbon fall off in the floor. And you want to get about 3 inches from the end and start and slide it in there. Okay, that's going to be where you begin. So, okay, so now you're going to make your first loop on the right, and you want your right side of your ribbon up. So twist it right there.
Twist it all the way around?
Twist it where you get the right. So it looks like you've got, right, looking at, okay, let's start back over. All right, this is your right side of your ribbon.
Right.
All right, so you slide it right in there. So you want to twist that one time, and you're going to be looking at
The back side.
back, because you want to make your loop come out to 12,
Okay.
and then that way your loop is right side up.
Okay, and push it in there.
Uh-huh. Okay?
And flip it over.
Right, but you can let go of it. All right, but just, right, kind of keep it in place there. Twist, you're going to twist on this side.
All right, I've got the
You got it
face
twisted.
down.
And make it come out to there. You're going to make it 12 inches, so make that loop. Slide it back down in there, huh? So anytime you can, like, take your little wand, long ways,
Wow.
and scrunch it all the way down, and that kind of,
That holds it.
well, that'll kind of, you have to take that back out.
Okay.
All right, so now
Turn it, twist it.
twist it and make your second loop on the right side.
12 inches again.
Same size, Just come back to the center, twist, get your, there you go, so that your loop will be right side up, same size. Okay, and you got this much ribbon left.
Twist again, just do it again.
Make one more loop.
Alright, right side down.
Okay. Twist. Make the last loop. This you should have, when you finish now, you should have 3 loops on each side.
Okay.
Okay, so count them. Make sure you got,
1, 2, 3.
they're all the
1,
same.
2. Well,
All right, that.
Oops.
Okay, I think that one you got. That one is a little bit. I'm going to adjust that just a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So scrunch it down again, but you want to try to keep your loops even. It's not always easy. It's a good thing to just practice with some inexpensive ribbon. So now we need to make the center loop. Take that back out. So now you're going to twist and make one more short loop. That's going to be your center loop. Okay.
Make it like.
That's fine. In just a couple of inches. Okay, make it smaller, a little bit smaller. Okay. Now then, take your thing and scrunch it down again. Okay, all right, now what you want to do is get your zip tie and a chenille stem handy. Now you want to gently lift up your ribbon and your tails all out at one time. Make sure everything stays stacked. Just lift that out, just hold it just like that. Lift that out.
I feel like I've got breaking eggs or something.
Now then, you're going to take a zip tie and going to go around that. And before we tighten that down.
That's backwards.
Am I backwards?
Yeah, flip it.
Okay. I always put that on backwards. I'm going to bring that to the back. But before I tighten it down, I'm going to take a chenille stem and slide that through there. Because that's what we're going to use to, okay? And you just want to tighten that with your fingers. Tighten that up more.
Okay.
Okay, and go ahead and cut that end off.
I want to fluff my
Zip
center
tie.
out.
You don't fluff yet. Okay, so, all right. So,
I'm
you know
nervous.
where you ended your ribbon, you want to cut that off with about 1 inch or so right there. You don't want to cut it off so short that it'll pull out, but just cut that excess ribbon off.
Angle?
No, you're just cutting it off. You're going to cover this up. Right. See, you want to cut it short. I'd cut it a little shorter even. All right. And then on the back side where you started, your starting part, cut that off a little shorter too.
There?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now you're going to pull that center loop over to cover up that chenille stem and zip tie. Now you're ready to just kind of fluff.
Like one goes up?
One goes up, one goes down. Okay, so now you got your wreath bow and you got your chenille stem to attach it to. Your tails are on the front.
Look at us.
And then you can use the chenille stem to attach to the little flower arrangement. Okay, there's a wreath. After we finished it, we just secured the bow to the little floral container with the chenille stem, fluffed out all the ribbons. We got our 2 bees here. Overall, it measures about 27 inches in width. All the supplies came from Trendy, and you could use the same technique. We'll give you the list of supplies that we used, but even when we run out of these exact supplies, we'll leave that tutorial up because you can use the same instructions and pick out a different mesh, different ribbons, different embellishments, and so forth. Okay? Thanks for dropping in. That's it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Glasses on like a 92-year-old, like my mother.
Well, I'll take mine off.
Well, then I don't know if we'll be able to tell what we're doing. I gotta keep mine on, I can't see.
Keep it on.